Yeah, chat. I took L after L yesterday. It was so bad.
You tangled with the wrong man.
I literally just gave up and was like, no, I'm not streaming, dude. I wanted to go to sleep. So for those who don't know, yesterday I had to get up at like 6 a.m. to go into Boston for the specialist appointment that I've been waiting for a while, right? And I got there a little early. I got there like 7:30. And so I'm sitting outside this building. Very interesting idea.
Really
Put this doctor's office next / inside / next to a party city. I was like, wow, that's a very interesting decision. Weenie hot things to the prime, which you did. And so I'm sitting there. It's like 7:30 in the morning. Sun's barely up. Fucking some guy, some random Bostonian, is running around like an angry bee. To the left, to the right, goes inside, goes around, walks around the lobby, goes. I'm watching through the windows. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy doing? Goes through, he's trying every door, walks out, walks back down the other end, walks back the other end again, then goes back in again, tries all the doors again. And I was like, alright, so I took my eyes off him, because I just kind of like stopped caring. And then I hear, guy's at my window. I'm like, so I do the Bostonian, like the little thing when you put it down like an inch. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, hey man, you know what time it opens?
See that?
It's like, what? He goes, you know what time this place opens? And I was like, well, I got an appointment at 8, so it better be open at 8. And he was like, oh, it opens at 8? I'm like, well, that's when my appointment is, so it better be open. And so he turns on and he looks at the window, and the window says 9 a.m. to open. And he goes, oh, well, I guess they open at 9, so I guess I'll see you later. And this guy just walks off, and I'm watching in my rearview mirror. He walks across, like there's like 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going this way. He walks across, and there's like, I don't know. I don't want to call it like a park, but there's like some trees, like some small bushage, some trees and stuff. He just walks in between the trees and bushes and disappears. I was like,
Dead on.
what the fuck? Where? And then, no joke, as I watch this guy pass through the trees, someone comes out from the back of the office and opens the door. I was like, get fucked. Anyways, so I was like 7:50 at this point. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll go in.
3 months pockets.
So I go in a little bit early, and, you know, check in, whatever, I sit down. And this nurse comes out, like, you know, opens the door to call me in the back and goes, Ralph? So I look at her, and I was like, I'm the only fucker sitting there. So you know what I do? I just look back at my phone. And she goes, Ralph? And I look over again, and she goes, like motioning to me, and I go, I point at myself, and I look behind me, and so I look back at my phone, and she goes, Ralph, we're ready to see you. And I go, I'm not Ralph, so I don't know who you're talking to. And she goes, oh, and then shuts the door, and then about 10 seconds later comes back out and goes, Jeff? I go, there you go. It gets so much worse, chat. It gets so much worse. They go in, sit down, whatever. It's a specialist appointment, so it's not like a normal doctor's office appointment. So you'll be in a minute. And, lady comes in. Like, hi, you know, whatever. And, we start talking. And, she's like, oh yeah, you had a sleep study done and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, no, I actually had 2 done. She goes, you, what? I was like, I had 2 done. She goes, oh, when did you get the second one done? And I was like, beginning of the month. She's like, oh, I only have records for 1. I was actually going to recommend you do a second one. I was like, I've already done that. She's like, oh, I didn't get sent that. I'm like, oh. So what am I doing here then, if that's not what this was for?
Dead do rights.
And she was like, clearly a little panicked at this point. And she's like, do you know where you took it? And I told her where I took it, and she's like, did your doctor's office have it? I go, yeah, that's the whole point. I was made an appointment here. And it was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get in contact with them. I'll try to get in contact with them today, and then I'll call you back this afternoon. And then she starts explaining what they're gonna end up doing. She's like, oh, we're gonna end up doing this. You're gonna get this or whatever. And I was like, She's like, yeah, you're. Then once I give the stuff to your insurance will call this company, and the company will reach out to you in like 1 to 2 months to set up an appointment. I'm like, what? So, that's not even starting today. That's like starting whenever. She's like, well, I have to get the stuff back. And I was just sitting there. I was like, so what's happening? Like, what are we doing? And she was like, well, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I don't have the data. And I go, I know, I'm not upset with you. I'm just kind of like, that was the whole point of this. So like, it's not you. I'm just kind of like a little bit frustrated. She's like, no, I understand. I'll try to call you today though with the results. Let me get it from the facility or from your doctors. And I was like, okay, sure, best we can do. And she goes, do you have any other questions? I was like, what do you mean other questions? It's not, we haven't talked about anything. There was nothing to talk about. I was like, no, not really, I guess. I don't really know anything else. I don't know what's even kind of happening. I guess. And not. And then she was like, alright, well, I'll try to get this handled today and then call you. Guess who didn't get a call yesterday? So, I fucking hate healthcare in America, dude. Yeah, I probably got charged for that. And, well, I did get charged for that, actually. And, yeah, I got literally nothing, so. Yesterday was a really great day.